Yo, what's good, boys? We're back to another Haikyuu Legends video, and today we're actually going to be doing a stat tutorial. Because, I mean, although the stats are kind of simple in a way, I feel like some people don't know exactly what they do. And me and my friends been testing them out, and just all the different styles and stuff, and figuring out what all the stats do. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and go over them with you guys. So, block is going to be something that is really just going to increase your hitbox whenever you're popping your block. That one I feel like is easy to come to a conclusion with, but it's also hard to tell because it's not like too crazy. But it definitely does help a lot with the people that have the really fast spikes, and sometimes ping has a really big difference to where the ball will actually end up getting caught in your block behind you, and if you don't have a really high block stat, that's typically not going to happen, and it's going to go straight through you. So having a good block stat can be very nice, I can't lie. Bump, it's just going to make the ball go way higher, it's going to make it go further, and I would say bump is probably the least important stat in the game. I can't lie. There is not really any position that you really want to have a bump instead of a set. Now, the only way that you're going to be using your bump is if all the players, two people already touched the ball. You just need to get it over. You can't get a good spike, so it's going to be better to go for a bump. But other than that, you don't really need it, and the bump stat doesn't really matter because it's going to do its job no matter what stat you have for it. I will say you could probably do some like set plays with the bump maybe, but I don't know why you would use that over set unless you just have zero set. There's just not really any reason to have it. Dive, I personally thought it was way better than it is. It's not bad to have because it helps with recovery, but it doesn't increase the speed, it doesn't increase how fast you get up from the ground, it doesn't increase how fast it comes out, it doesn't increase the range. No, it doesn't do any of that. It increases how high the ball goes up. But if you keep that in mind, realistically, if you got a high dive, low set, you can just use dives to set, even though you can't really do directional sets. I find that doing air sets with directions is pretty good no matter what your set stat is, but it does definitely like make the sets go faster the lower your stats are, and it'll also be lower to the ground, so they're harder to receive. So I would just say having a high dive, if you have a low set, can be really nice because it can be used to set people up because people can hit them off of your dives. But yeah, it just increases the height. It does increase it quite a bit, actually. It's pretty noticeable. It's something we tested, I think, yesterday, actually. Jump, straightforward. Higher jump. I can't lie. Like, it's just that simple. It just makes you jump faster. Or, not faster, it just makes you jump higher. That's all it does. Serve. Serve's also one of the easier ones to tell. Serve is pretty much just you get the ball, you set it up, the set stays the same no matter what you're serving, and it'll just be a increase in how fast the ball goes down. So it'll help with the power of your shots, and it'll help make your shots more unpredictable. And so it's a really, really important stat. I would say serve and spike are two of the more important stats, and I would also say speed is probably one of the most important stats too. And jump, I would say these are top three. Jump is four. I can't lie. But set is set's important to have at least yellow in. If you don't have at least yellow in set, it's really bad. Because I was playing on the build that had like orange set and really low yellow. If it's low yellow, it's also pretty bad. This is realistically the lowest set you're gonna get, and it's still being pretty good. Because the thing with set is you're not really looking forward to like having the highest set, because sometimes it's better to have those quick sets, because although if you have max set it's nice because it makes it to where the hit is easier. I wouldn't even say it's easier, honestly. It's like it's just as difficult because it's hard to time a set that's falling for 10 years. But it's just like a really long and high set is just going to make it to where the defenders can get to it easier. Although you have more time to aim wherever you need to aim with your spike, it just gives the defenders time. It's not bad to have if you're doing like air sets, and there are ways specifically that you can set to make sure that the sets go lower. And I'll go into that into the actual passing guide whenever I make that for sets. But realistically, it's good to have a set that is near the middle because it's nice and quick. It's easy for the people to react to and spike. It's nice, it's accurate, and it also makes it where the defenders can't really get to it as fast. Now, speed makes you way faster, and I mean it is significant. If you see any amount of increase in speed in your build, you're gonna feel it. It is so incredibly important if you're a libero. It's important if you're blocking. It's important if you're a spiker. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, this is probably the number one most important stat in the game. Although you need other stuff, this is just gonna always get you to where you need to go. I can't lie. It is so good. Because, like, I'm a libero spiker, so pretty much my whole gameplay is I go for the dives to save the ball. I make sure if it gets past the blockers that I can get to it, and this just makes it to where I can get there fast. Although mine isn't the best, it is in the middle, it's alright. I do also have Yabu for whenever I want to be really quick, I want to be defensive, and I want to catch people off guard with some spikes that are really quick. But overall, I'm going to be using Ushijima mostly because of spike. But like the speed, so important to get as high as you can on whatever you're using. Like, keep in mind with what you want your main thing to be, but you need to know that speed is incredibly important to getting you to where you need to go. And the balls move so fast in this game that you need a decent amount of speed for it to be a compy style. Now, spike, it's more powerful spikes, and spiking actually changes a lot in this game because this game's extremely accurate with how you hit the ball and where your body's positioned and the jump and how accurate you jump for the positioning that where you are. And depending on what your spike is, it'll totally change the places that you can spike. Because like with this, with Azumena, it's not much different, but realistically, it's a pretty big difference. So it makes it to where it's slightly faster, so people have a harder time reacting to, and that's always nice. But the thing about Azumena over Ushishima is that Azumena can still hit some really sharp spikes from like mid. You can hit them directly like on the right side on the line. But if you try doing that with something that's extremely powerful like Ushijima, it's going to go out of bounds. And that's something to keep in mind is the more spike power you have, the less accuracy you're going to have as far as going to the places exactly where you want to hit them. Because, like, if you have high spike, also, never hold S key if you have high spike. Never. Because it's going to go out of bounds every single time. I kid you not. You'll have rare occasions where it goes in, but it's just a gamble. It's not worth the gamble. If you have something like Yabu that has decent spike, you can actually hold S key and it'll go in. It'll be fine. So just keep that in mind when you're picking your style, because spike will make it to where it's harder to react to because it's more powerful, but it'll also make it to where there's less places that you can hit. But keep in mind that if you have high spike, it also grants you the ability to hit shots on the back of their line versus up front. So it's like, it's got range, but it also can't hit as sharp as angles that other things can. And so you just got to keep that in mind when you're picking a style, because stats do matter a lot with how you want to play the game and the way that your play style is. So with that being said, I hope this was really helpful for you guys. I really tried to go into it as much as I could so you guys can pick out what styles you have. You can mix match it. I think some of the best styles right now is Yabu if you want to be extremely defensive and you want to catch people off guard. If you have a friend that's really good at sets, you can do moving sets, and since you're so fast, you can do quicks with it. You got Ushijima, which I think is the best spiking thing. Although the serve isn't as good as something like Bakuto, the other stats you have are way more important, because Bakuto doesn't have much speed, and like I said, speed is the most important stat in the game, so speed is so nice to have. It's got dive, which is good for recovery. It's got good block. It's got max jump, max spike. The serve is good enough. You don't need bump, and it has the perfect set that you really need. So there's all in all, this is just the best all-arounder and spiker build. I would say this one is also a really good choice for all-arounder. If you want better serves and you want spike, this is a good one to go for. It just really depends if you really prefer doing serves or you prefer doing crazy spikes. Just keep in mind, Azumena does have less speed if you are to pick that option. But, and also the set's worse. So this is probably the best thing that you have for spiking an all-arounder if you really want to be an all-arounder and a spiker. And then I would say for setter, I mean, It really depends, because you can go Yabu for sets, because Yabu's really good for speed. You can get some really crazy air sets with it and get to where you need to be and position yourself really quick to get the exact set you want. Or you could go Kagyomo, which has the higher set, and it also has the ability to do really accurate jump sets if you know what you're doing. And it's just it's an all-arounder that has everything, it has more spike, and has crazy serve. So if you want a crazy serve set, I would say choose the oh my goodness, I forgot his name after I just said it. I can't lie. Oh man, Kageyama. It's Kageyama. I'm sorry, I drew a blank there. But yeah, if you want Kageyama, I would say use that one for serve set, and then it's an all-around good defense build. It's got more spike. But if you run Yabu, it's going to be to catch people off guards and just shut people down on defense and be able to hit sets from anywhere on the field. And I think that's pretty much it that you would need to know for the styles and what I think is the best, but that doesn't mean that you cannot pick other styles, because there probably are some styles that I am definitely underrating, but these are just my personal top styles for certain positions that you would be wanting to play on the field. But like I said, there's so many play styles, so many ways that you can play this game. There's a lot of techs you can learn. So you guys are just going to have to really mess around. But now that you know the stats and what they do, you will be able to pick the stats that you want for the play style you want to play. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.